Hi kittens, it's Sister Angel Kiss here, and I'm going to show you today on how to do a brow block. Now there are so many different ways that you can do a brow block, and seriously there's like a million different ways you can do it. Some people use nail glue. Don't recommend that. But my first time in drag, the person who did my makeup did it with nail glue, and for 6 weeks I had no eyebrows. So if you are cool with shaving your eyebrows off, then I guess nail glue is the way to go. I use a Ben Nye Spirit Gum, and I believe it is absolutely, totally a rock solid brow block, and totally the best way to go with your own brows. So to do the brow block, you're going to need a couple different things. Obviously you're going to need the Spirit Gum. I use the Ben Nye brand. I have some Spirit Gum remover, and we'll get into why I need that a little bit later. And we're going to use I guess this is like a makeup spatula or like a putty spatula. You can get it at the craft store. I've got like a pointy side, and this will help for shaving off some of the eyebrow putty. And I've got a flat side, which is going to help for actually going and smoothing down the brows. And what else do we have? I think that's pretty much oh, and eyebrow putty. We're going to use some eyebrow putty. So one of the first things that you want to do is you're going to want to groom your eyebrows. A lot of people think that they can just glue down their brows and that's it. There's no problem at all. I can tell you from experience, I used to have really bushy brows, and it was considerably easier for me to block my brows after I had them groomed. You can go to any hair salon and you can ask them to wax your brows. You don't necessarily have to have them waxed. Even if you just ask them to groom them for you, what they'll do is they'll just take a little comb and a little pair of scissors, and they just trim them down so that all of your eyebrows are a single length. It makes blocking your brows a lot easier, and I highly recommend it. If you want to go the route of having your brows waxed, there's definitely not a problem with that. If you're secure enough in your sexuality to get them waxed, then I applaud you. You can go, if you look at my brows do not have a very feminine shape to them. Obviously they're waxed, obviously. So you can let the person who is waxing you know that you don't want to have a very feminine shape, and you can tell them, you know, just to clean up. And what they do is they'll clean up like underneath and up top and everything. And I get a lot of compliments on my brows, so I think mine actually look really nice, and yours can too. Just go see somebody have them groomed. If you're not going to have them groomed, I definitely recommend just going and tweezing some of the stray ones. You can take it's one of those little doomajiggers with it's like a little brush, and it's got the comb on the one end and the brush on the other end. I definitely recommend just going and combing your brows and making sure they're all in line. So what you're going to do first, and I'm going to do this on my right brow just because I'm better on my right brow. You're just going to take your Spirit Gum, it's just very simple, and you're going to start off by just going against the grain. If you go against the grain, what you're going to do is you're going to get the Spirit Gum underneath the brows, and that's going to help for it to stick. So all you're going to do, I just start on the end, and you just go and just brush it on. And then we go the other way, just to make sure that everything is coated really well. And then I go just a little bit above the brow line. And a little bit underneath. And that's going to help for when you put the putty on. It's going to help it stick all around and form a better seal. So once the Spirit Gum is on, and you can see it's right on my eyebrow, then you're going to start to tap it. And as you start to tap it, what's going to happen is it's going to start to get really sticky. So you want to be relatively even on your tapping, and just making sure that you're not getting too much Spirit Gum all over the place, because once it's on your face, it's on your face. So it's starting to get pretty sticky now. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's getting pretty sticky here. So I tap it until it gets really, really, really sticky. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this eyebrow putty, and I'm just going to shave a little bit of it off. I don't need very much, just like a small chunk. And I put that in the palm of my hand just so it gets a little bit warmer. I take the little makeup part of it, a little bit round, and as it warms up, then I can shave a little bit of it off. And then I just go like this, and I just put it right on my brow. Now you don't have to worry too much about it being really smoothed down, because we're going to work on that, but you really just want to get it on there before the spirit gum sets. We're also not concerned with the color of the putty. All we really just want to do is cover up the texture of your brow. There you go. So that is done, and I've got a little bit of putty left over. Now I was talking about spirit gum remover. So I was going like this and I was tapping my fingers on the spirit gum, and now I've got spirit gum on my fingers. So what I do is I just take the spirit gum remover and I just go like this and I dab a little bit on there and I just rub it, and it completely dissolves the spirit gum, and now it's not on there anymore. And then I can just take a paper towel, wipe it off, and it's good to go. What we're going to do now is we're going to smooth out the brow. So now all I do is I just tap the putty and it smooths out the imperfections. And you can go on all sides, and you just want to smooth it down so that you don't see chunks of putty. And this is where the spirit gum on the outside of the brow kind of comes in handy, because it helps this stuff adhere. If you see that it's kind of coming down a little bit, like, you can just go like this and smear it off. Like it'll kind of blend on its own. There you go. So that's basically your brow block. If you were doing traditional drag, obviously you would take extra steps and you'd go with a powder and a foundation and a powder and a foundation, or you might go with glue stick. Now instead of using glue stick, I use this brow putty. If you don't have brow putty and you just want to use the regular glue stick, that's totally cool. I find that it helps if you take some of that glue, shave it off with the tool, put it in your hand, and just kind of mash it with the tool, and it'll get the glue into a smoother consistency. And then that way you can just put it right on, and you don't have to be too concerned with there being chunks of glue in your brow. So I find that works out really well. And this also, if you let it set for like 10 minutes before you apply makeup, then that's even better. And then when you put the makeup on, then it's not as likely to smear.